Hey yo, what's up YouTube man? It's your boy Ashton Jackson. In today's video, man, I'm gonna be talking about the Thursday night showdown versus the New York Giants. Both teams are out sitting at 1-2, and both teams need to get a win to get their season back on track and to stay at 500. I really need, of course, the Dallas Cowboys to win to get back to 500. I will talk about all that and more after the intro. So before we hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. Hopping straight into it, the number one thing that the Dallas Cowboys must do to win this game within how you start. You saw how well we started versus the Cleveland Browns. We were able to get out to a great lead, was able to pass rush, we was able to get home and get to Deshaun Watson early and often. That's what we need to do. But not only that, we need to play smart, fast, and physical on all three phases when it comes to the ball. Offensively, whoever wins the toss and they want the offense to get the ball first, which they probably want. I think the Giants. So if we have the choice and we win the toss, I want to receive. I want to get the ball first because we go down there, we score, we get early. We go down there, we get a quick 7, and we get that in like 4 or 5 plays, and we do what we're supposed to do. We get down there and we score, and then now we're forcing Daniel Jones to either throw the ball or what they're going to try and do. They are going to try and establish a run game, which is my second point. We have to stop the run. You haven't been able to stop the run in 2 straight weeks. The Giants know that. The Giants already know that you're a common opponent. They also know that you have a tough time stopping the run. So with them knowing that and them having a really solid back in Devin Singletary, I know that we don't put him in the likes of like some of the top running backs in the league and things of that nature. But Devin Singletary is still a really good back. He was really great for the Houston Texans last year. So this is a really good back, and the Giants brought him in to quote-unquote replace Saquon Barkley. And they've been running the ball at a really high clip, and they're able to play physical football. If we can't stop the run, it's going to look exactly how it looked the past 2 weeks where you start out slow. Because if you go out there and you get a quick 3 and out, and the Giants just run the ball down your throat, and then they go out there and play suffocating defense on you somehow, even though they don't have any of their starting corners, and some of their players haven't been playing up to par. But Dexter Lawrence is still a beast that we have to deal with in the interior of that defensive line. So again, we got first play smart, fast and physical football on all three sides of of phases of football. Then we have to stop the run. You haven't been able to do that in 2 straight weeks. They're going to want to run the ball with Devin Singletary. They're also going to want to incorporate Daniel Jones in his legs because they also seen on tape and film that I've been seeing along with, Voch and Brian Barter. Shout out to them and their podcast, Okoye Media. I've been watching so many films with those guys that, watching their videos that, and also just me going to watch the Dallas Cowboys. I remember when RG3 would give us troubles with the read option with him, Michael Vick. There were so many quarterbacks growing up that every single time the Dallas Cowboys played a mobile quarterback, I used to hate it just because we couldn't be able to contain him. So we got to be able to force Daniel Jones to throw the ball as well. Like I said, once you go out, you win the toss, you get the ball first. Go down there, go get a quick 7, and just force Daniel Jones to throw the ball because he has to make a lot of decisions. And I understand that Caleb Carson is going to be a game-time decision tonight. So is Marquise Bell. So also with them having secondary issues, so are we. So we need to figure that out as well. And then why? Because that contains with Malik Neighbors, right? That goes into my next point of us having to contain Malik Neighbors. He's going to be a really good wide receiver in this league. And anyone that is hearing about Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Roman Dunze, you hear those guys have really good numbers. You guys really shouldn't be surprised. Those 3 were the top 3 unanimous can't miss prospects in terms of if you drop these wide receivers, you're going to get great production if you put them in a great offensive scheme to have them in along with decent quarterback play. They're going to ascend. Malik Neighbors is doing really great things with a guy like Daniel Jones. Not saying Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback, but he isn't the upper echelon. He's not even the top 10 quarterback in my opinion. He's top 15. He's in that middle tier of quarterbacks. But Malik Neighbors had 10 plus yards, 2 touchdowns versus the Browns, and he had a really good performance against them. Had a really good performance against the Washington Commanders, and a lot of receivers are because that out there and do contain Malik Neighbors. He is going to be a problem. So I really hope that we dedicate safety help over the top versus a guy like Neighbors, especially when we have him in one-on-one matchups. And I understand that we are going to try and play some man coverage because I believe once we play press man coverage, and we have to have Daniel Jones pat that ball a couple of times, and you have to think about it. Michael Parsons is going to be able to get home. Marshawn Nealon is going to be able to get home in this game. DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be able to get home. So is Osa. I don't think it's going to be a butt whooping like how it was last year when we opened the season against them 40-0 because that team was a lot better than this team. But I believe we're going to go out there and take care of business. But it all depends on how you start this game. Another thing, we're going to have to run the ball effectively just for the simple fact that there's going to be some weather issues going into Jersey, East Rutherford, New Jersey tonight. It's always is around this time. It always is a little bit shaky when you're playing these New York teams at night. You will deal with some rain. You might deal with some light showers, things of that nature. But they're saying that it's going to rain earlier in the day today, because right now it's around noon in Jersey. So we got to run the ball effectively just because the weather might dictate how this game goes. If this is a windy, rainy game, it's going to be a tough game for the Dallas Cowboys because you haven't been able to run the ball all season, and you haven't been able to run the ball this season. This season and last season you couldn't run the ball. So if you can't find a run game in today's game and the weather dictates on us not being able to throw the ball as effectively as we want to, it's going to be very ugly for the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be ugly quick. The other thing that we have to do to prepare for wins and things of that nature is let's get some screens going. We have to take advantage of this athletic offensive line that we do have with guys like Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton. Having those guys on the perimeter blocking for Rico, CD, Ferguson, Cooks, whatever, Turpin, if we can get those guys on jet sweeps, get those guys on the wide receiver screens, halfback screens, tight end screens, and have guys like Cooper Beebe, Tyler Smith, and Guyton on the move, and have moving Zach Martin as well. You can get Terrence Steele as well on the move. When Terrence Steele's in the open field, he can mush guys and get guys out of his way. And we've seen him been able to do that last year with like the Carolina Panthers, and we've been able to see that once he's out in space, it's going to be tough guarding guys like that in open space with guys of the caliber like CD, Ferguson, Cooks, Rico Dowdle, Kavontae Turpin in open space with those offensive line. They're going to road grade and get the lanes open for those guys to get easy first downs, touchdowns, things of that nature, right? Protect the ball. That our defense is shaky right now. They're trying to find their identity, and we're trying to figure out schematically what we're going to be able to do. So it's really great that the Dallas Cowboys, and they have to protect the football. A CeeDee Lamb fumble can't happen in today's game when you start slow and you need 6 points, right? Limit the penalties. That was another thing that cost you last week, and that is something that it can't cost you this week. You can't have a good drive. You get last week, for example, right before the end of the half, where we had to kick 3 points to make it 28-6 or something of that nature, right? We went down. We drove the length of the field. We threw the ball up. CeeDee Lamb was clearly pass interfered, but it was a penalty on the defense and the offense because it was offensive holding by Tyler Guyton. We can't have that happen where we have an offsetting penalty and we're having struggle moving the ball and we get the easy play that can get us down to at least the foot-yard line or the 1-yard line, and you have a penalty, a boneheaded penalty that you make a mistake on your own end that ends up costing you. That's where it costs us points instead of us getting possibly 6. We have to settle for 3. So control the penalties that you can control. Pre-snap penalties, your false starts, your encroachments, your illegal contacts. That's easy. Don't obviously anything can be called in the league, but once a guy is already 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, do not touch him. Anything once you touch him past that 5-yard line is a penalty. So illegal contact, no defensive holding. No offensive holding, things of that nature. We have to play really clean football against the division opponent. They're coming in, they're underdogs, and do not have them thinking that they have a chance to win this game, because if you do, with the NFL team, with NFL talent, they will take advantage of that and they will want to crush you. And don't forget, this isn't a division opponent, so they're not playing around, and this is Giants week, right? And the last thing, stay healthy. We're going to be able to stay healthy. I want to stay healthy. I need both teams to be healthy. And again, the Dallas Cowboys can't deal with any more injuries. They already are down their other corner and Kalen Carson. They're down a backup safety who I believe can be a potential starter for you down the line. And we're already dealing with some injuries. So you got to stay healthy. Again, Just to go over and just to review again, we got play smart, fast, and physical football on all three sides of the ball. Giants are underdogs heading into this game. Take them seriously. You got to stop the run. You haven't been able to stop the run in 2 weeks. The Giants know that, and they will want to run the ball with Devin Singletary. The one they will want to use Wandale Robinson in open space on orbit motions, and they will want to use Daniel Jones on quarterback read plays. Force Daniel Jones to throw the ball, because once he does, he has to think a lot. And I've seen when Daniel Jones has to think a lot, he ends up taking a lot of sacks and puts himself in harm's way. Also, contain Malik Neighbors. He's going to be one of the greatest. He's not one of the greatest, but he's going to end up being a really great wide receiver from his draft class. And once they figure out the quarterback situation next year, they're going to be a really nice threat to the NFC East, and they're going to be a problem. So, got to contain Malik Neighbors, right? We got to run the ball effectively just because we might not know how this weather might dictate this game. If this weather dictates that it's going to be one of those muddy up football games where we're going to have to run the football, play great defense, and rely on field positioning, you have to focus on that. You have to get this done. The ball effectively. I think you're going to be able to run the ball. You got to use screens more. Take advantage of this athletic offensive line that you have with Tyler Smith, Beebe, Guyton, Martin, Steele. Have those guys on the perimeter blocking for Rico, CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson, and Cooks. Protect the ball. Again, you don't want to turn the ball over. Limit your penalties, the ones that you can control, like the pre-snap penalties, roughing the passer, once the quarterback releases. You stay healthy, and of course, let's get a Cowboys win and get back to 2-2 and figure out what we can do in these next 10, 11 days off to prepare for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.